Okay, students, today we are going to look at this idea. We're talking about how to terminate loops. We're looking at counting as well as accumulating. Now, here is a program already pre-prepared. All right. So, looking at it based upon the scenarios and the examples we went through, you would recognize line 29 as counting and somewhat line 30 as accumulating. We're going to go through that in a bit and give you a bit of an explanation as to why that occurs. All right. But we're looking at, as our introduction says, here at the comment area, multiple line comment. We'll look at terminating loops, counting and accumulating. Now, here is the situation. All right. We're using a counter, count equal count plus 1. So in this case, we're counting by 1. All right. We can change it to count equal count plus 2. In this case, we're counting by 2. We have done this before when we're looking at while loops and repeat until loops. So this should be somewhat familiar. All right. However, what you'll notice here is this, that here we have total equals total plus age. In this scenario, it is written the same way you write the counting command, except with the counting command or syntax, you use a particular number. You're increasing by a particular number, 1 or 2 or 3, you're counting by that amount, whether by 1 or by 2 or by 3. In this case now, because the ages entered, how old are you, will be different at each point. So what we're doing here is to accumulate. We're going to be adding whatever value the person puts in for age each time. We're going to add that, whatever the age is, to total. And then this total, along with the age, will be placed inside total over here. It looks kind of funny, kind of strange, but next video, when we're looking at trace table gives a good example or a good scenario of how this works. All right, but let's run this for the time being and see how it looks. So here's our code. We are running our little program here, and let us get to work. All right. So, good afternoon. What is your name? Your name is Chris. All right. How old are you? Let's say I'm 5 years old. Good afternoon. What is your name? Name is Dwayne. All right. And how old are you? Let us say I'm 10. All right. And then good afternoon. What is your name? My name is Buju. All right. And let us say I'm 3 years old. If you notice, the loop says while names is not equal to monkey. So let me enter monkey now to terminate the loop. Monkey. And then I'm 2 years old. Now if you notice, before we had 18 and we add 2 becomes 20, and we looped 4 times. So we realize the counter here was counting the amount of times you were looping. See, the total number of ages entered is total. The total number of ages entered is 20, because total now contains 20. All right. The total number of persons participated is 4, because we're counting. So if you notice, count started off at 0. So the first name we entered was Chris. Then the next name was Dwayne. Then the next name was Buju. And then the final name was Monkey to terminate the loop. All right. So that's 4. So we can get a good idea of how this works. All right. We'll look at this a little bit in more detail when we're doing trace tables next video. All right. But terminating loops is what we're moving toward now. Terminating loops. And let me exit the execution console here and bring this down a bit so we have more space to look at what we're doing. Let's say while names not equal to monkey. That's what this less than and greater than sign mean. Not equal to monkey. So it means, as you saw a while ago, we can keep entering names. All right. And the program will not terminate. Remember, the while loop repeats as long as a condition is true. So is it true that we are not entering monkey? Let's enter a name. Let's say Runcus. You're one of my favorite names. All right. Runcus. That don't even spell Runcus. I forgot the K. All right. Let's say Runcus is 40. And we go again. Good afternoon. What is your name? Malvina. I tell my students all the time I should name their children when they decide to have children. All right. Malvina is 50 years old. Good afternoon. What is your name? Gladys. All right. And Gladys, how old are you? Let's say 10. All right. Now, good afternoon. What's your name? Mowgli. All right. Mowgli, how old are you? Let's say you are 3 years old. Good afternoon. And it keeps on looping. But as soon as we enter monkey and we give it a value for the age, the loop stops. So there's something I want you to pay attention to do. If I put a space here, for example, right? These are the things that the mistakes students make that you really have to pay attention to. If I put a space here, it's not something that you might necessarily notice. And it is true for Excel as well, when you're writing if function and those commands. All right? You run the program, let's enter monkey right off the bat. So we enter monkey. All right? 5. We'll go again. We'll enter chimp. 3. You see, it doesn't end. Because now we have to enter monkey, M-O-N-K-E-Y, and then have a space for the loop to terminate. And that's how the loop terminates. So you have to be exact, even with your case, uppercase, lowercase, and so forth. So just another way of how you don't have to terminate loops with numbers or numerical values. All right. Another thing you can look at, let's look at numerical values just for a moment. All right. Let's say we want to terminate with age. So we can say while age is greater than or equal to 0. And let's get rid of this or these others here. Do begin. So while age is greater than or equal to 0. So what we're saying here, as long as you enter 0 or higher, or let's say greater than 0. Yeah, let's work with that for the time being. And then we run the program. We can keep going. Let's enter monkey now. Monkey, 3 years old. Let's enter monkey lowercase. And let's say 6. Loop doesn't end. And let's say we enter chimp. Alright. And let's say chimp is 7. And let's say aranga. Alright. And let's say that's 4. We keep going, right? And then we enter another name. Let us say teacher. Alright. That didn't enter. So let's go teacher again. What's happening here? Oh, the server issue. Jeez. Control A, Control C, copy. Let me refresh the page now. Yes, refresh the page. And then now I'll just Control A and just paste this code over it. So I'll come back to whatever I had there. And then we execute again. So hopefully we don't have a server issue this time. Let me get this out of the way so we have space. Alright, let us say we have professor as a name and we enter 5. You got an idea what was happening a while ago. Let's say we enter student as a name, enter let's say 8. But let's enter now 0. Oops, name, sorry. Let us say teacher. And let's enter 0 for the age. The program is still running. Alright, let's enter CPU. Alright. And then now let's enter -1 because now age is no longer greater than or equal to 0. This should terminate our loop and our loop ends. So this is another way you can work with your loops. There are different ways and different processes you can carry out, different syntax rules, and you can experiment with them and find out which one works for you. You're working with strings to terminate loop, but remember, when you're working with strings, you must put the value, all right, or the, let's say names, not equal. You must put the string not equal in quote. So let's say we say nada. So we're saying while names not equal to nada do begin. So to terminate the loop, you have to enter as a name nada. All right, and I'm hoping that means well, again, nothing in Spanish. Let's say monitor. All right, and let's say 4, and let's say we say mouse. Let's say that's 6. Now let's enter nada, and then that should be it with our loop or loop ends. So that gives you an idea of how to terminate loops. So going to keep it short because I've been doing some pretty long videos recently. Want to keep it short, keep it simple, and give you guys some other ideas rather than just thinking that you have to terminate loops based upon numerical values. That is not always the case. All right, guys, have a good one.